Hi everyone, it's Melissa. I was working on my Halloween mini album and I made one of these, which I kind of made like my own chipboard and made this bling to hang. I put the ball and chain through here and hung it off my mini album. So I'm going to attempt to show y'all how I made this. So what I did was let me leave this up here so you can kind of see what we're doing. I used my Indie Art cartridge and my Design Studio, and I deleted out part of the inside that was cut, and using Stampin' Up! Cardstock, I cut 4 of the same shape. I think it's like 3 inches tall. I'm not sure what the width was, but I cut 3 of those, and then to make the chipboard, I glued those together, stacked them all up, glued them together, which makes this. And it's like kind of like a chipboard piece. It's pretty heavy, pretty thick. And so what I did after that was using my Versamark, let me get my Versamark over here. I dipped this in my Versamark, just kind of like this, to get it all over. Get it good and inked up with your Versamark. Snip. And then once you think you got it, which it doesn't look like it's too good on that one side, so let's try that again. Keep going. So you want it good and covered so that when you add your heat and stick powder and then your glitter, your dazzling diamonds, it's very covered. So that looks pretty good. Then you're going to take your heat and stick powder. I keep mine in this little Rubbermaid container. Then you're just going to cover your cross with the heat and stick powder. Cover it all over. Make sure it's good and covered. Oops, knocked some of the heat and stick powder off on my... Okay. Then, let me get my tweezers. You're going to use your heat tool and you're going to heat this. You'll see it actually changing color. Goes to more of a clear. I think my glue is going to affect this maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see how this turns out. Okay. Once you got that done, then you're going to take your, let me move this over here, take your dazzling diamonds, or I guess you could use any glitter, but I use Stampin' Up. Then you're going to cover this with dazzling diamonds. And all over. Going to tap off any extra. Okay. And then what I do is I take my heat gun and kind of set that. I'm not sure if this is a process you have to do, but I just heat it back up and make sure that the heat and stick bond is going to work with the glitter. Okay. Then once that was done, see here, you can kind of see the diamonds on there. Then I took my crystal effects. Move this up so you can see it. I took my crystal effects and I covered the entire area with my crystal effects. And you might want to wait a few minutes and let that cool, because I noticed on one of my other pieces I kind of knocked some of the glitter loose because I guess I hadn't given it time to cool. So you're going to cover it like that, cover the entire image. I'm going to move this one out of the way. I have another one that I've already done. And this one has got their crystal effects all over on this one side. And then what you're going to do is turn it over and do the other side. Bring this one back in. So what you need to do is let one side completely dry of your crystal effects before you start this other process. I'm going to cover this pretty quickly. I'm going to cover this with your crystal effects. Okay. Then your next step, you're going to need some bling. So once that's completely covered, like I said, you're going to let one side dry, then you're going to do the other side, same process, but then you're going to add your bling. And I don't have another stone like the first one had, so I'm going to use a heart. Then I used a big one down here, bigger bling at the bottom. You can, while the crystal effects is still wet, you can move these around. There's this, uh-oh. Oopsie. Let me get this turned over. Ah, it doesn't want to turn. There we go. And there's the next one. And then the third one. And I did those gradually, where one big and then medium size and then smaller one. And then I did a bigger one on the ends with a smaller one next. And then a bigger one on this side with the smaller one. And I used the clear rhinestones. I think you could do this with some color to really make it flashy. But I just needed something simple. And I actually don't even think I'm going to use this on my Halloween mini book now. Okay. That one's not wanting to cooperate. Once I got my tweezers in that crystal effects, it's kind of made them a little more difficult to maneuver around. There's that one, and that one, and then that one at the top. And while the crystal effects is still wet, you can kind of move those around, do them differently. I just wanted to show you this one is completed with, I think that's basic gray. This one is Sierra Sand. This one I did with there's some background paper. I did it with craft cardstock, and then I used some Halloween paper on the back side of it, which you really can't see because of the crystal effects and the glitter and stuff. But this one this one is done with black. It's before the bling. And each color that you use for the cardstock and the dazzling diamonds gives it a little bit different effect. So you might try with some different papers and see what you can come up with. But I thought this was fun, and I hope you enjoyed.